everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. Before we get started, be sure that you're following me over on Instagram. That's actually where this video originated and so many of you wanted a full tutorial, so here I am to bring it to you. We are going to be making a really fun Come On Barbie Let's Go Party design. Now for this one I did use my name and a different font, but we're going to be using a really cute Barbie font and I'm going to show you step by step how to make this really fun design. Now what's great is you can use Barbie in the middle if you want to, but if you'd rather you could put a name like I did, or I've seen them done with bride and bridesmaids. These are a really fun, simple design to make, and they look like they took you a long time, but I promise it won't. So let's go ahead and get started.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
For this design, we're going to use the Absolute Blonde font. This is from Creative Fabrica. I will link it below and also in the upper corner for you. Now, downloading from Creative Fabrica is super duper easy, so all you'll need to do is click the download button. Now, I do have an all access membership, so my font is included in my price. If you don't, you will need to pay for the font individually, but you can also sign up for a free trial, which I will link down below for you. So what I did is I'm going to save it into my fonts folder. It just makes my life a lot easier. I keep my fonts pretty organized. Then I'm going to click save. I want to open up the folder that I just downloaded because it is a zipped folder, meaning that we need to extract the file. Now, one thing I'm going to mention is make sure that you have Design Space closed, or you'll just have to restart it, so you might as well just close it before you install your font anyways. Then what I'm going to do is click Extract All and simply just click Extract. It'll enter that folder, it'll put it right in that font folder. Now you want to install the Open Type font file, so right click on it, and you want to make sure that you install for all users. What that's going to do is it's going to allow anyone on your computer to use the font, but also allow all the programs on the computer to use that font. Simply click that and it's just going to install it really quickly, really easily. You can go ahead and close the folders. We don't need those anymore, and we're going to head over to Design Space. Now over in Design Space, we can add our first set of text. So I picked a random text to use earlier. So what you'll want to do is type in your word, and you can use your name, but for this tutorial, I'm just going to use the word Barbie, but you can definitely use your own name. My name just does not look great with this font. So what I'm going to do is go over to my system fonts, and I'm going to scroll down to Absolute Blonde and select that font. And now you have your cute little design. Now I'm going to make it bigger so that you guys can really truly see what I'm doing. The next thing I want to do is I want to add an offset to this. So I'm going to click on offset. And a lot of times this size, the 0.25, might be a little bit bigger than what you're thinking. So you can definitely adjust it to what you like and how you want it to look. For this one though, I do want kind of a thicker offset because we are going to drag it a little bit to make it look a little more true to the design. So I'm going to go ahead and do about 2.64 or 0.264. The next thing I want to do is I want to get rid of all these little holes in the design because they're just not going to work for what we want it to look like. So all I want to do is select my offset here in the Layers tab and click Contour. And then I just want to click on each of these little holes that are in the design. You can see there's like this teeny tiny one right there. I want to get rid of that, but I'm going to probably have to find it over here. So I'm just going to get rid of that one. Now you'll see that we have this solid design. Now just for aesthetic purposes, I'm going to go ahead and change the color, and I'm going to use the advanced option so that I can make it more of a neon pink, just so we can get a look at what it's going to look like on our whatever we're making. I'm just going to show you how to make the design. I'm not going to actually put it on anything. And then all you want to do is just move your offset a little bit, just because if you look at the real Barbie font, it's not totally centered. If you want to do it centered, you can. It's not really, you don't have to do it an exact way. It's really up to you and the way you want it to look. So you don't have to do exactly what everyone else is doing. You don't have to do it, just do you. Do what you like and how you want it. Now, she does have it at a little bit of an angle, and I do prefer it at a little angle when it comes to doing the design that we're going to do. So all I did was selected both items, and then if you kind of hover down in this corner, or really any corner, you can see that you can adjust your design. You'll see those two arrows come up with a little curve. So I'm going to curve mine upwards a little bit. I think that's pretty good. I think that looks pretty nice. Now I think going to adjust the offset just a little bit because I think it's just sitting a little funny from where I want it. I think I want it just a little less down. There we go. Okay. So you can kind of adjust it, do whatever you want, do it how you like to do it. Now we're going to add the circles and the come on, let's party part, because the part's really easy. So all I want to do is I'm going to open up my shapes, and you can do this completely for free with the shapes. I'm going to go ahead and make my circle, and I kind of want to put it over my design because I want the circle, this is the outer circle, to go just a little bit inside of the design. So I think that looks pretty good, fairly where I want it as far as like width is concerned. Now what I want to do is I'm going to duplicate the circle. I want to make this circle just slightly smaller than what it is up here. So it's like almost 9 inches right now. So let's go like 8.5. And what I want to do is place this circle over the other circle. Now I think that's still a little thicker than I want it. So I'm going to go like 8.7 and see if maybe that's a little bit closer, because you can see on the edges, this is going to be the size of your circle around your design. So I think 8.7 is pretty good. Now I want to select both of my circles. I want to go up to a line and I want to center them, and then I want to slice them. Now a lot of people have problems with slice, and the reason you have problems with slice is because you're selecting too many layers. You can only slice out 2 layers for your design. So you want to keep that in mind when you are doing this. Now really quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Barbie and the offset, and I'm going to attach them. They're going to change the same color. Don't worry, that's totally fine. I want to do this because I want to select everything, and I want to center align the design so that it looks more correct for my circle. Now, this is kind of, again, up to you and how you want to do it, but I don't like that it's going to kind of cut off a little bit there. So I think I'm going to make this Barbie just a smidge bigger so that it covers this section of the circle, because we're going to be doing some slicing of the circle. I'm going to go ahead and move the circle back up to the top just so I can see it better. And it's fine that everything is attached. You can detach them if it bothers you. I'm going to go ahead and detach them and just change the color really quick so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So now we want to add the come on, let's party part. And for that, I'm just going to open up a text box, and I'm going to do this all in caps. So the top line is come on, and we are going to choose a font. Now, when choosing a font for this, you can really do whatever font you like, but I like to do kind of a more plain, blocky font. Arial's usually a good choice. That's usually what I go with this. I just think it looks a little bit better. The Arial rounded, if you want it to be a little bit more playful, you can do that one. It's up to you. I like Arial or Arial rounded, so either one of those is absolutely fine. Now what we want to do first is I like to size mine down a bit because it's a little bit big. And I like to size it down just so it's a little smaller. And then I want to use my curve option up here at the top. Now when using curve, it is super important that you don't ungroup your design at all. You have to keep your text as is or it won't work. So I'm going to go ahead and curve it, and I want to curve it so that the curve goes downward like this. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is you don't want this to be so big that it's going to go over where it says Barbie. So you want to size it down a bit, and you'll notice that as you size it down, your curve is going to look a little bit weird. So you need to adjust your curve as you adjust the sizing on your design. Now, I think that is a really good size for that, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that as is. Because remember, we're going to have a circle in the center as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this font, and I'm going to paste it. That way, I can just simply use the same font, and I can just type in my new words. Now, don't hit backspace as many times as I did, because apparently it didn't like what I just did. You can also use duplicate, but I want to adjust the wording. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this to the let's go party. And you'll notice that now it's curved the wrong direction. So I need to curve it back the way it came. So I'm going to curve it back down this direction. And again, you're going to notice that it is way too big to fit in our area. So you're going to size it down. And you're going to kind of play with it and figure out how much curve it needs, how little curve it needs, and then also like how big do you want it, how big do you want to make it. because you'll notice that as I make it bigger, I can definitely curve it more, but it's going to kind of end up going into the word Barbie, which we don't want it to do. Now, one thing I will notice, like when it curves, especially with this design, because we have the Barbie kind of off-centered, you can definitely angle this so that it's a little bit more, like it fits better. I like to angle it, but I'm going to first just kind of play with the sizing and the curving to get it to fit within our space, because that's the most important part, is fitting it within the space that you have. And you're going to just play with it a little bit. Now, here's where I can kind of curve it a little and see if it will fit better and see if I can get it to curve the way I want it to so that it's a little more centered. Now, it is still a little too big, so I'm going to go ahead and just probably size it down a smidge more, because I don't want the Let's Go Party to go over the word Barbie. I think that looks pretty good. I think it looks relatively even. So now what I want to do, because I don't want to have to slice again, because what a pain, is I'm going to take this large purple circle and I'm just going to duplicate that purple circle. Then all I'm going to do is size this down until I'm happy with how it fits against our letters. You can see currently it's too big because it does go over the Let's Go Party. So I'm just going to size it a little bit more. And I think that looks pretty good. Now, one thing that I like to do is I'm going to take all of my circles and my wording. I'm going to go ahead and align these, and I'm going to align them center horizontal. But what you're going to notice is that your Let's Go Party does get out of whack. That's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and slide it over myself. I just want those circles to be really even, and I want the come on to be even. But Let's Go Party is going to be a little bit off just because it's a bigger word, and we did angle it a little bit more. And we can actually angle it just slightly more so that it's a little more even. I think that looks pretty darn good, so I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my two circles and I'm going to weld them. Now I like to use weld, but you can use unite. It does the same thing, but you're able to undo it. For this, I really don't feel the need to ever undo it, so I'm going to just go ahead and weld them. It's going to make slicing a little bit easier because you're going to be able to just select the two circles and the one box. So let's go ahead and get the box out, because I don't want the circles to be over the word Barbie at all. So I'm going to open up my shapes, and I prefer to just use a rectangle. You can use whatever shape you want, but I just think a rectangle for me works fine. Now, when slicing this, I don't want it to slice the same size across the entire circle, because there is less area here that needs to slice out from like right here. So what I like to do is I'm going to take my box, and I like to just angle it a little bit so it's more angled like the word. And I want to cover the circle where I want it sliced. Now for this one, because we did weld these, I am going to make this smaller so that it only slices out my outside circle. I don't want it to slice my inside circle the same size. So what I'm going to do is select my rectangle, and I want to duplicate it just 3 times. That way I have 3 of them. I'm good to go. I don't have to like worry about remaking the rectangle every time. Then I want to select the rectangle that is over my font, and I want to select my weld result of my 2 circles. Go ahead and click slice. Now, if your slice is grayed out, it's because you're selecting too many layers, and you can't do that. You can only select 2. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of both of my box here and then the 2 extra little lines. I wish I would have sliced a little higher up, and if you want to, you can absolutely do that. Just bring the square in again, and you can just use another square, and you can select that circle and the rectangle again and click slice again. That way you can just slice it out and gives you a little bit more space, because I didn't like that really small slice right there. I wanted a little bit more area between that and the words. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate my square again since I used one. And then all I want to do is do the same thing over here, but I want to figure out about where I want this based on how big the font is over here. And then I think I just want to angle it a little bit more. And then again, I'm just going to select the square, select the circles, and click slice. Now again, the reason I do the rectangles in like triplicate is so that I don't have to constantly resize or open up a rectangle again. Now here, this one's going to be a little bit smaller because our font doesn't cover as much of our circle. So again, rectangle, circles, and slice. This part can be a little bit tedious, but honestly, I find this to be the easiest way to do this for me because I feel like I can just get a better idea of how big I want things to be by doing it this way. So again, I'm just going to kind of figure out where that is. I think I want to go up a little bit, and then I'm just going to go ahead and slice. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all these extra pieces, parts, and you'll see your design is pretty much good to go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. Let me change the color on our font so you can see it better, just because I think it makes it a little easier to understand what we're doing. Now, for something like this, I like to just make the whole thing the same color, and I just like the Barbie part if I'm using glitter, because I love glitter, and I did neon glitter for this. You can't layer over glitter. So you have a couple of options on the ways that you can do this. So let me go ahead, and I'm just going to duplicate this font really quick because I can show you a couple of ways to do this. So if we want to do this all in glitter, the first thing that I'm going to do is I want to select my offset and my text. I need to slice these out because you can't layer on top of glitter. But if you just want your shirt color to show through, easy enough, just click slice. It may take a second, but then you want to get rid of the extra pieces of the Barbie. And now I'm going to change the color of our canvas because we'll just make it a random yellow. That's going to be the color of your shirt, and you can see where it's going to show through on your design. Now, let's say that I want to put this on a black shirt, but I want the white to show through. Let me make this black, and then let me change my Barbie to white. But I want this white to be part of Barbie, but I definitely don't want to layer over my word. I'm going to show you a quick little trick. So if you're going to use glitter for this, what I want you to do is take your original Barbie here that you've made white after you've sliced it from the glitter, because we're going to pretend the pink is glitter. Make a little offset to this. And when I say little, I do mean little. I'm talking like maybe like 0.97. Go ahead and apply that offset. And I'm going to change that offset color just to green right now so you can see it. So instead of trying to cut this on white, the skinnier one, and make sure it fits inside because you have shrinkage and things, you're going to use the green, which is going to be just a little bit bigger than what the white was, and it will fit under your glitter, and you can layer your glitter over it. That's going to help you reduce any chance of any of the black from the shirt showing through, and you're going to still get to have that white Barbie without trying to like layer it on top. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments and I'll try to explain it better. But when layering it, you want to layer the glitter on top, not below. And with shrinkage, that's going to give you a little bit better chance. So I'm going to move this over because you can see how, oops, I didn't want to do that. I hate those bounding boxes. But see how this one's fatter and then this one fits directly, like exactly in. And if you get it just slightly off, you'll see black through it. Well, if you use the green and it's slightly off, you're not going to see any of the black through it. So it's just going to be a little bit easier way to do that. I'm going to go ahead and undo a whole bunch just so I don't have to try to line this up again. Okay. So let's just say that we're not going to slice anything. We're just going to leave it as is. All I want to do is select my entire design, and you can use a couple of options. You can use attach, you can use weld, you can use unite. Because right now, if I click make it, what you're going to see is because I have a bunch of different colors, you're going to see all the different mattes that we don't want. Now you can obviously make this multiple colors if you want to, but I like to make it just one. So what you can do is even if I go to color sync, so let's make everything the same color. We'll just put it all into this hot pink. I'm even going to put the white into the hot pink. And if I click make it right now, it's still going to come up as a big jumbled mess. So to fix that problem, what you want to do is select your design and just simply click attach, or you can combine it and use unite, or you could also use weld. Weld is undoable, so just if you're good and you don't want to ever change this, use weld. But unite can be undone, so if you want to change it eventually, definitely use the unite option. Then all you need to do is just size this for the item that you're putting it on, and you have a really cute, super easy come on Barbie, let's go party design. And again, you can use your own name, you can use whatever you want to do. I've seen them done with like brides, bridesmaids, all sorts of really cute stuff. I hope you guys picked up some tips and tricks on how to make these. They're super easy, super fun, and I will put a picture of the one that I made up here on the screen. I did a reel on Instagram. I will link it down below. If you don't follow me over there, make sure that you do. But I did a reel over on Instagram that you can check out all about how I did this. I have the whole, I put it together, all the things. For that one, I did use a Barbie font generator, but I really like this font better. I think it looks nicer. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting!